So let me finish the story I was telling you all earlier about the church and this particular pastor who became a bishop, and he passed away. After he passed away, we heard that he died from AIDS. At the time, we didn't really make connection to. I think I did. I really believe that I did. I just probably I'm forgetting that I did, but because again, like I said, he had a very kind of strange kind of look to him. You know, as if it was sort of like a kind of low-key, effeminate look, like as if he would wear mascara, or I don't know, it just was a really different kind of a looking man, dark-skinned man, not a bad-looking man, but like I said, he had a look about him. And when we heard that he passed away from AIDS, we were a little bit baffled. Like, we didn't understand that because we were attending his church. He was attending our church. My pastor had invited him to speak a couple of times, and you know, we had a lot of respect for him. And when we attended his church, you know, he seemed to be, he had a wife, you know, was like nothing that would indicate that he was a homosexual. But then when we heard that he passed away from AIDS, that's when we had an aha moment. Okay? So those of you that believe that Africa is in trouble with the LGBTQ community, and you believe that going to the religious clerics, okay, to bail you out or to bail us out, my question to you would be, why would you think they would bail us out if they co-signed it to begin with? See, that's the question. Okay, let me give you another example. This is a different religion now. This is the MOSQUE, Islam. So, there was this brother. He was very popular, very, very popular, okay, in the mosque. Very prestigious, you know, intelligent speaker, and he had rose to the position of being like the national secretary, if I'm not mistaken. Well, those of you that are from America, you all know, or some of you know, the rank and file of the Black Muslim community in America. So if you rise to the position of national spokesperson, that means that you are the messenger for the main pastor, the main imam, the main whatever is in your religious organization. So this is what he was. He was a big deal. Okay, and his name was Brother Kuba Abakas. Okay, I don't know if any of you all remember him or whatever there in America, but one of the things that one of the brothers pointed out to me many years ago when I was there in the mosque, and Minister Kuba Abakas was, you know, speaking, very prominent speaker. I mean, he was a great orator. He can speak really well. He really could. He was knowledgeable, very intelligent, nice looking man. Yeah, the whole shebang. I'll never forget, one of the older brothers in the mosque said to me one day, he said, "Sister, what man do you know that's 40 years old? He's never been married. He has no children. And he doesn't have a wife or a girlfriend or something." Now, this is a brother that's in here with us. He's older though. See how we need the older ones amongst us, which is another reason why they attack the elders amongst our people, because they know what the elders bring to the table. We bring the wisdom, we bring the experience. Okay, you cannot outdo that if you're younger than us. You don't have as many years. See? So this brother was older, and he was there observating him for however long, I don't know, but he was. And then, so he was giving me a clue, a hint about this man. So I was like, yeah, that's true. I didn't want to accept it like at the time, because I'm like, I'm like, but we're in the holy mosque. Like, how and why? Like, would he be here? Well, now we know why he would be there. We didn't know then, but we know now. And that's where mostly the manliest of men are. So a lot of them. So anyway, he said that, and we had conversations about it. And then the brother, he got invited on, I think it was Sally Jesse Raphael's talk show. I think it was Sally. And he did an amazing job. He did an amazing job on the show. I think the show was part 1 and part 2, if memory serves me correctly. I think that's what I remember it being split into 2. And but the strangest thing happened after that. And I'll never forget, one day we were at some sort of rally or something with this man, Babakas. And I looked him from head to toe, and I looked down, and I'm like, he's an interesting, sort of colorful kind of person. He had on some, I think it may have been some cowboy boots or something. I don't know. It was like, it just didn't match the mosque, back in those days. Like, mostly brothers wore, I don't know, they didn't wear cowboy boots. They didn't. But he had on something. So that was strange. But, hey, people wear cowboy boots. So we couldn't make a big deal about that. Okay. But I never stopped thinking about what the brothers say about what man do you know that's 40 years old, never married, no children, no wife, no girlfriend, Then a rumor was going around that they saw him in Manhattan coming out of he was caught, if I'm not mistaken, somebody had caught him or something with a man or in a hotel, or My memory is a little bleak, but it was some scandal about him that he was living a double life. And back then, in Manhattan, they still had those peep shows. And somebody saw him, in an area where he wasn't supposed to be, as a minister and national spokesperson. It was not what he was supposed to be doing or where he's supposed to be at. And then he passed away. I don't know if he passed away from AIDS. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But he did die. So I said all of that to say this. Somebody very powerful this morning texted me and they said, Queen, I understand. They were like, we need the church and the mosque to help us to ward off the LGBTQ's agenda for Africa. And I'm like, I wrote back and I'm like, I totally denounce every single religion there is outside of our ancient religion, which was spirituality. Anything else was a bunch of fraudsters and scammers stealing money from black people who didn't have it to give in the first place. Then he wrote back and he was like, Queen, I'm on your team. I understand where you're coming from, but we need all the help we can get to get us out of this situation with the LGBTQ's agenda for Africa. So my response is going to be on this. This is what I have to say to that. How are you going to go to the people who stood by or stood around and co-signed for it and allowed it in the church and in the mosque? How are you going to go to them, and especially in the Catholic Church, okay? How are you going to go to them and expect them to denounce something that they co-signed on to begin with, and they were supportive of and still are? And there's trillions of dollars on the table that's coming along with the LGBTQ's agenda for Africa. So how are you going to approach these same clerics in Christianity and Islam to help fight off the agenda for the LGBTQ in Africa when they are backing it and a part of it? It's just a question. It's a question. See, this is why you don't allow things to fester and build up. You understand? And I'm not trying to sound judgmental, but I have to say it the way the ancestors has given it to me to say. Many of our fathers and grandfathers and great-grandfathers, I don't think the great-grands, because they knew better. But I would say grandfather and, whatever, maybe even a great, but anyway, they sat around and they knew what was going on. They saw what was going on. They were approached and offered homosexuality for power, for money, for material things, for a position on a job, a position in the government, a position in parliament, whatever it was, and they knew what was going on, and they didn't turn it down. They didn't. When that contract came we're going to give you this amount of money. We'll give you $1 million. You know, we're going to give you $2 million. We're going to give you $3 million. You know, if you just allow us to be a support system for the LGBTQ inside your church or your mosque, or at least allow them to fellowship with you and, you know, be accepted and not feel isolated or feel like they're not a part of the world or whatever. And those of you that signed off, you said, okay, no problem. Yeah, we need the money. We need to renovate the church. We need to put a new roof on the mosque. We need to put a new roof on the church. We need new seats. We need this. We need that. And there it is. There goes the neighborhood. See? Many accepted the con gang. Okay? They accepted the trick bag. And now here we are with our back up against the wall. They got you cornered off like a crazy dog. When you corner a dog off, a dog that, you know, they're not in their right mind. They're a little out of their mind or right mind. See? So now you're backed in a corner and you don't know what way to turn. You know? You don't know which way to go. This is the advice that I've said, because, you know, what are you going to do now? They're here. They're here. They're here in Africa. Sure are. In the multitudes. If they had a gay parade in Africa, which they have had one in South Africa, just to let y'all know. But if they had one in every country, you would be shocked how many would be in attendance. So, I'm going to finish this conversation later, but I wanted to get that off my chest. Yeah. No entry. It's not supposed to come through this way.
Yeah. Yaani lakini emergency tunakuomba si wateja hapa. Nenda ingilia kwa kule babu, unapati wapi? Rudi nyuma tuingilie kwa kule. Huyu hajaenda hata shule, ajui hata wateja. Ukishaka kwenye kazi kama hizi, unajua hajafanya, hajaenda hata shule. Wanafikiri wameenda shule, wanafikiri. Wanawekwa tu wanalipa mishahara ya kipumbavu kwa sababu hawana uelewa. Ni kazi ya hatari. Au sio? Yeah. Sasa mteja anaingia amekosea njia na mrudishe kama sio mteja, au sio? Haya hiyo hamna baba. Au sio? Au mkosea sehemu na mkosea. Next time usikosee. Au sio baba? Shamba. Ingia babu. Ingia mpaka pale mbele. Nenda pale mbele. Hapo huku. Ingia.